2025 G7 summit in Alberta. Canada didn't just show up. It showed off with President Trump making a theatrical exit. Prime Minister Mark Carney slid into the leadership void like a finely tuned V8, replacing a stalling four-cylinder. He wasn't just hosting, he was shifting global gears, from tightening bolts with South Korea on defense to jump-starting Latin America's economic engine and leading the charge on critical minerals. Canada positioned itself not just as a middle power, but a performance-tuned geopolitical contender. Here are the strategic moves that could reshape the future of global alliances. Defense pact in overdrive. Canada and South Korea shift gears together. At the summit's high-altitude venue in Canada, ask us. Alberta, Canada, and South Korea fired up a major upgrade to their strategic engine. Prime Minister Mark Carney and President Lee Jae-myung shook hands on a deal that stretches across the defense sector, energy integration, and critical minerals cooperation. Think of it as a turbocharged partnership, one that powers both national security and economic competitiveness for Canada. It's a sharp turn away from over-reliance on legacy defense partners for South Korea. It's about spreading its strategic bets and opening fresh trade lanes for high-tech collaboration. The real talk of this alliance, a joint development of advanced defense technologies and a shared effort to secure and process the critical minerals needed for electric vehicles, aerospace, and semiconductors. And let's not overlook the symbolism. This was President Lee's international debut. Instead of cozying up to traditional allies, he hit the road with Canada, underscoring a pivot toward pragmatic diplomacy and multilateral horsepower. Together, the two nations aim to reduce supply chain vulnerability and build regional stability with an open-throttle, forward-looking strategy. And speaking of shifting gears and global engagement, Canada's economic acceleration in Latin America is really picking up speed. With Trump idling out of the G7 spotlight, Carney floated on development aid. Canada rolled out a $400 million portfolio guarantee targeting Latin America and the Caribbean, engineered to unlock over $1.6 billion in new financing. This isn't charity, it's catalytic capital designed to attract private sector investment. The funds will go through the Inter-American and Caribbean Development Banks into climate resilience, renewable energy, and sustainable infrastructure projects. Just, picture solar grids humming in the Andes, or reforestation projects, or even rebooting agriculture in the Caribbean, all with Canada's blueprint under the hood by using smart financial engineering. Carney's team is turning policy into practical horsepower, pushing inclusive growth and climate-smart development through carefully calibrated gear ratios. This move doesn't just widen Canada's trade footprint, it cements its role as a builder of resilient green economies. While the US plays hardball, Canada's approach is more like torque vectoring. Smart, balanced, and focused on long-term traction. Before we delve deeper, do us a favor and smash that like and subscribe button. It fuels our channel and helps us reach more auto and policy enthusiasts just like you. Now let's shift the conversation toward the minerals that power our future. Critical minerals. Alliance building a resilient supply chain drivetrain. In a moment that could shift the global manufacturing chassis, Canada launched the Critical Minerals Alliance, a coalition forged to counter minerals supply choke points and dominate the resource lanes of the green transition. This isn't just a mining club, it's a coordinated supply chain ecosystem. Canada brings the raw materials, Germany the processing finesse, South Korea the battery know-how, and Japan the circular economy playbook through its recycling tech. These minerals aren't just rocks, they're really the pistons of tomorrow's electric vehicles, wind turbines, and even military hardware. And with ESG standards baked in, this alliance isn't just about mining, it's about mining responsibly. The message here is that Canada is no longer content being the quiet utility player, it's actually gunning for the lead position in the race to resource security, and with this alliance it's pretty much laying down the track. But beyond minerals and markets, Canada is turning to cutting-edge tech to tackle environmental threats. AI-powered fire defense, Canada's tech-driven shield. With wildfires growing fiercer and honestly more frequent, Canada is no longer just dousing flames. It's deploying next-generation tech to predict and prevent them. Vancouver-based SenseNet, in collaboration with telecom giant Rogers, is rolling out AI-powered wildfire detection across Alberta and British Columbia. This isn't just clever software. It's real-time threat detection, analyzing environmental signals and sending early alerts to emergency crews. Enter Fireswarm, another trailblazing partner using autonomous drone swarms to gather aerial data and even assist in mitigation efforts. These drones can operate day and night, scanning terrain, assessing risk, and supporting first responders with precise, actionable intelligence. This smart integration of artificial intelligence into Canada's climate strategy goes beyond disaster response. It's about resilience, with air feeding into national early warning systems. Canada is setting a global benchmark in protecting communities while embracing innovation. The result? A tech-savvy, environmentally conscious model for future-forward governance that blends data with disaster readiness, a concept that fits squarely in the engine bay of responsible leadership. Now that tech and climate leadership are in motion, it's time to zoom out and look at Canada's global positioning. Canada's geopolitical shift, from passenger to driver. As the 2025 G7 summit wound down, Prime Minister Mark Carney made one thing clear. Carney's diplomacy during the summit wasn't just reactive. It was calculated, from forming the Critical Minerals Alliance to finalizing a comprehensive security pact with the European Union. Canada presented itself as the capable bridge builder in an increasingly fragmented geopolitical landscape. The European Union deal touches on everything from cyber and maritime defense to space security and air ethics. These are essential components of modern geopolitical horsepower. But Carney's real ace, is his ability to balance principle and pragmatism. Canada supported Ukraine, pushed climate resilience, and opened new defense and economic pathways, all while keeping dialogue open with diverse partners. For a country often seen as a diplomatic understudy, the summit marked a clear evolution into a confident lead actor. Carney's global engine roars to life. The 2025 G7 summit might go down as the moment Canada stopped asking for a seat at the table and started hosting the dinner. Whether it was brokering new defense and tech deals with South Korea, engineering financial uplift in Latin America, or pioneering AI solutions to climate challenges, Canada flexed its ability to lead across industries and continents. Prime Minister Carney's strategic thinking turned Alberta into the epicenter of 21st century diplomacy, with a focus on critical minerals, inclusive development, and climate resilience. Canada made its presence felt not with bluster, but with results. And in a world where reliability matters more than rhetoric, that's a reputation worth building. Now, let's hear from you in the comments. Do you think Canada is truly ready to replace the United States as a global diplomatic leader? Will the Critical Minerals Alliance actually disrupt China's grip on the electric vehicle and tech supply chain? And how do you feel about artificial intelligence, drones, and sensors monitoring natural disasters, reassuring or risky? Drop your thoughts, questions, or hot takes below. Before you go, subscribe so you never miss a shift in the global engine. From geopolitical powertrains to under-the-hood innovations, we're your ultimate pit stop for everything automotive and beyond. Thanks for tuning in, and see you next time. You can now check out any of the videos on the screen. There's plenty more to explore.